Let me talk to you.
The biggest icon in wrestling.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me talk to you.
Welcome. We are live. Oh man, why is it tripping like that, bro? Come on, man. I gotta have my road dog next to me, bro. What's up, sir? Welcome to another Let Me Talk to You, episode 22. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes, sir.
All right, good. I'm glad you can hear me. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. Another episode of Let Me Talk to You, Wednesday night, 8 p.m. You got me, Frankie Fresco, and my brother, DiTrapio. What's up, man? What's going on, bro?
What's up, brother?
Are you keeping tabs of that Miami Heat game as we speak right now?
Yeah, man. Caleb Martin right now, revenge game. He just scored a 3. It's 45-44. He are up by 1.
All right. Hopefully he is able to go ahead and perform tonight. I know that he are in a dogfight and they're showing a little bit more grit, which is what I kind of thought they were going to do tonight compared to the game 1, because I figured Eric Spoelstra was going to go ahead and have a game plan to try to win this. So that's why I feel if there's one game that the Heat can probably squeeze out from this Boston series, it's going to be game 2. We'll see how it goes. We'll talk about it in a couple minutes. But let's go ahead and give you a quick rundown of what we're going to be talking about tonight. We had a lot of going on at NXT last night. Sprint Breaking was legit. Jesus Christ, was that good. We're going to talk a little bit about boxing. Some Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney for you guys who tuned in. We'll talk, of course, about the Miami Dolphins and the draft tomorrow. That's going to be fun. And then we're also going to talk about the Heat. Obviously, we'll keep tabs and seeing how they're doing against Boston. And then finally, we'll talk a little bit about the Florida Panthers. The Florida Panthers in the playoffs, finally stepping it up, and some soccer to end the night. But let's go, sir. Let's talk. Let's talk a little bit about NXT. And let's start with what a day. What a night for WWE NXT Sprint Breaking, man. I don't know if you saw it, but dude, it was really good. You had guests coming out of nowhere. Damian Priest, the champion, was out there in NXT. You had the special. Well, hold on. Let me not get all excited. All right, hold on a second. So first and foremost, we gotta go ahead and we gotta say that the first thing I wanted to see was the first fight, and the first fight was an intense fight, and that was Roxanne Perez defending her NXT Women's title against Lyra Valkyria and Tatum Paxley. And of course, man, Roxanne Perez winning it, beating those two girls at the last minute, able to retain her belt, man. What you think about that? Did you get a chance to see that triple threat match right there, sir?
I don't want to sound like I'm not tuning in to NXT, but I just did not, man. I'm still getting swamped with schoolwork. This is my last week, and this is my finals week, so I haven't. After this, I'm gonna be studying, bro. So I did see a couple of highlights here and there, but they were saying that last night's episode of NXT, just every match in general looked really good.
Bro, it was legit, man. Like, I have never been so in tune in NXT like it was last night, man. And you had people coming out there, man. You had Johnny Gargano out there. You had obviously the Good Brothers who've been there, Damian Priest, as I said earlier, and what we talked about last week, which was the signing of Lola Vice going up against Natalia. Well, sir, Lola Vice had a surprise for all of us. And that surprise was that she was going to have somebody on her corner in order for her to beat Natalia. And sir, here she is. Here's the lineup for next week. That's the fight. But look who's on Lola Vice's side, and that is Shayna,
Oh,
the
damn.
Queen of Spades, Baszler. And dude, it was intense because it was on the battleground. So when it was on the underground area, they were going ahead, and Shayna Baszler just got sucker punch out there. It was crazy. It was intense. I was like, yo, what's going on here, man? It looked really good. Lola Vice now having the Queen of Spades, because she said that even though she could shake her ass, but she could also kick some ass, and that's exactly what she was gonna do to Natalia tomorrow. I mean, next week. So that's what she said to her yesterday. That's what she's gonna do to her next week. So, sir, tell me, sir, are you excited? Do you think Lola Vice will be able to get over and beat Natalia next week on week 2 of Spring Breaking?
Now with this extra push, I wouldn't be surprised with her partner, man, as Shayna Baszler, man. This is big. This is gonna be a good match now. I mean, it was always gonna be, but now with this extra boost, this is the thing about WWE. They really know how to incorporate, you know, putting the right wrestler at the right moment. And wow, this is a live reaction for me. So this is pretty big on my that in my opinion.
Dude, I'm telling you, it was such a shell shocker that they brought in the Queen of Spades, because she's been kind of quiet in the
She
Raw,
has.
and so for her to come out and now be back in NXT, and remember, she was very big in NXT, and that's one of the reasons why she obviously moved over to the Raw SmackDown side. It's huge, and I think this is a good step for Lola Vice. I think they're pushing Lola Vice really, really strong now, and I honestly feel that Lola Vice has a really, really good shot at beating Natalia. I wouldn't be surprised if Shayna Baszler comes in and gets involved some way somehow, either by like
Mhm.
knocking her, or maybe throwing a chair or something, and allowing Lola Vice to win. So I think that's actually going to be a very, very good fight for us to see next week on day 2 of Spring Breaking. Very impressed with that fight. The other fights that we were informed that was going to happen, and Nick, this is a good one because I don't see them losing, but I really do see them actually going ahead and once again struggling a little bit. But it is AOP going for those tag team belts against Nathan Frazier and Axiom. And you know me, you know how I feel about
You're
those
right.
two guys. I am not a big fan of Nathan Frazier and Axiom. I know my brother has to step out for a quick second, but he still has the Miami Heat logo in the back, so that's okay. Uh, Honestly, man, I think that's badass that we have Axiom going with Nathan and going against the Authors of Pain, AOP. I really, really feel that AOP should win this, but they're just pushing so much Nathan Frazier and Axiom that, man, I don't know. I don't think they're gonna go ahead and lose these tag team belts. Nick, what do you think? You think AOP has a shot, or do you think Nathan Frazier and Axiom are gonna continue to be the defending champions?
So first and foremost, sorry about that. Got family members. But when it comes to this, this Axiom and Nathan Frazier boost right now is just, I've never really thought they were gonna get this this hype, but I'm not gonna lie to you. I think Nathan Frazier and Axiom are gonna win.
Yep,
I wouldn't
I
be
have the
surprised if they pull it off.
I have the feeling that they are gonna win. I like AOP. I think AOP are definitely stronger and bigger than Axiom and Nathan Frazier, but I just think momentum's on those two guys. They just feel like, those are the future, and AOP mostly is on the SmackDown roster with Karrion Kross and all that group over there. So I just don't see it happening where Nathan Frazier and Axiom take an L and lose their tag team belts. The last fight we also have listed for day 2 of NXT's, I guess you could say they're hype. I'm surprised that they're doing this hype. It reminds me of AEW. Spring Breaking is Thea Hale versus JC Jane. So remember, if you guys don't know, Thea Hale at one point
Hold
in
on,
time.
sir. My connection right now is terrible. I'll be right back. Hold on.
No worries, bro. While my brother gets better connection over there, his Wi-Fi is tripping. Thea Hale and JC Jane are gonna be finally meeting one-on-one next week, which should be good because at one point in time these two were best of friends, and now all of a sudden these two best of friends are now gonna be fighting against each other. And it should be good because a lot of people wanted to see this. Thea Hale is the person that a lot of us were hoping to see eventually make her way to the Raw roster and the SmackDown roster with Chase U and all that. So I think we got Nick back. Nick, how's your connection? Is it better?
Man, it's a there was like a fix on the router this week, so it's been like a little bit haywire. So I gotta contact Comcast. But anyway, sorry about that.
No, but you're good. We can still hear you and you sound pretty good. So yeah, so you got Thea Hale and JC Lane, Jane fighting next week. So it should be fun. It should be exciting. I actually want JC Jane to win because I'm not a big Thea Hale. You know me, Thea Hale and me don't get along because of the simple fact that she's too rah with the Chase U crowd. But I know my brother likes Thea, sir. Is Thea gonna win tonight? I mean, Thea gonna win next week?
I think so. I think Thea, they're giving her a little bit of a boost as well, and with Chase U, it just, you know how WWE is. They like to rally up the members of a group, and I wouldn't be surprised if Thea finds a way to win. And I wouldn't be surprised if she wins like in a weird fashion, like in a very quick, awkwardly fashion, because she's very awkward sometimes with her persona.
Yep.
So for sure, Thea, I think may pull this one off.
All right, sounds good. And then we also want to go ahead and talk about what happened this past Tuesday, and it's the fact that Trick Williams there finally gets over the hump and defeats Ilya Dragunov to win the NXT belt. Everybody was on hand to go ahead and watch that battle. I mean, the Creed brothers were there. Johnny Gargano was there. All of them. Everybody was out there, man. They were all cheering for Trick Williams, and he finally achieved it. He finally was able to go ahead and win the NXT belt. They even had a segment. So they did two cool things with Trick Williams. The first thing that they did was they recorded him when he was talking to his mother. His mother was telling him, hey, she's not feeling too well, but she wants her son to do her best. And at the end, she was like, you know what you got to do? You got to whoop that Trick. So that was very fun. Johnny Gargano comes next to him, starts talking to him, gives him a little bit of a pep talk, pumping him up. Don't forget about, the battles that he's been having and how adversity always happens and comes to everybody, but you could conquer adversity. And then all of a sudden, you got Trick Williams going ahead and obviously beating Ilya Dragunov. That was spring breaking, and I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. My brother's having a little bit of internet connections. He's trying to get it fixed, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see if he's coming in or not. But I can't even add you, Nick. So I don't know if it's not letting me add you. I don't know why. Oh, hold on a second. There you go. I got you. So we can't hear you. I don't know if you're saying something, but we can't hear you. Say something? Can you say something? Nah, we can't hear you, bro. I think you're gonna have to log in and log back out, sir, because you're not people can't hear you. The fans cannot hear DiTrapio, sir. DiTrapio has been muted. Check your sound, see if your sound is working properly, but right now nobody can hear you, sir. I don't know why. And you're not muted. Let me try to unmute you. Say something? No? Anyway, yeah, no. I see your lips moving a little bit, but I can't hear you. But whatever, it's all good. Try to see if we can fix it, and then we'll get you back. In the meantime, the last thing we wanted to talk about when it comes to NXT is the fact that NXT announced their first ever appearance at the UFC Apex Center. It's gonna be for NXT Battleground, June the 9th. Exciting times for NXT. making their way over to the UFC Apex, and there's where you're having the whole UFC WWE type of connection between one and the other. Oh, now I'm having issues here. What's going on? Jesus Christ! It's like we're all having connection issues. Hold on a second. I got you. Hold on, guys. Give me 1 minute. Let me check this out. Hold on.
Man, you see, this is what happens. There's always going to be having those technical difficulties, but hey, things happen. But in the meantime, obviously, I'm guessing my brother should be talking about.
All right,
NXT
I think
probably
you guys
doing
can hear me
Apex.
now. Oh, and I'm back. And Nick, they
Apex,
could
no,
hear
that's what
you.
you were going to talk about.
They could hear you as well. Yes, Apex Center in Las Vegas, where the UFC fighters usually have their. Sometimes they have their fight nights there, and sometimes they do their training there. So it's cool to see that NXT is making that move. It's gonna be fun, man. I think it's kind of cool that the UFC is now helping WWE in a way to showcase their young talent. And I think that's what one of the things that's going to be fun about Battleground. I want to see how they shape it up because we've always seen the Apex Center for the UFC Octagon, but we've never seen it for the WWE ring. So it should be fun
That's true.
to see what we got there. So the last thing we wanted to talk about before we change topic is, of course, the WWE draft is right around the corner. It's happening on Friday with SmackDown first, and then Monday Night Raw on Monday. There is some information, sure. I do want to go ahead and let you know they did announce, and I think it was WrestleNomics informed the fans that during the draft, none of the champions will be able to be in the draft. So they're all staying, I guess, like maybe like free agents or whatnot. So they're staying where they're at right now. So that means Trick Williams is most likely going to be staying at NXT. Obviously, Cody's going to be going. He kind of said his goodbyes at Raw, so he's going to be on SmackDown. You got Damian Priest in Raw. So we have all these champions staying around, and that was why it was so important for Trick to win last night, because that means he's going to stay. That also means Roxanne Perez, who actually competed in, I believe it was SmackDown, or either SmackDown or Raw before, she's going to stay in NXT. Nick, who do you got? Do you got anyone in particular from the NXT roster making their way over to Raw or SmackDown in the draft that's coming up on Friday and Monday?
Dragunov, man, that's why he lost the belt. 100%.
Bro,
That's why he lost the belt. It just makes total sense why he lost the belt. And then they make that rule now that all the champions have to stay where they're at, or they're just free agents. It just leads to show you how they're passing on the torch now to Trick, and Trick Michael is going to stay at NXT, and then even possibly Carmelo. But I feel like you said before, they're gonna still continue that feud between Trick and Carmelo. So Dragunov 100%.
Yeah, man, I honestly feel that it was kind of a segue for them to go ahead and say goodbye to Dragunov, especially after he beat after Trick Williams beat him. He went ahead and he handed Trick Williams the belt. You know, it was kind of like saying his goodbyes and passing the torch. So I honestly feel that Dragunov is the main guy from the NXT roster that will be making their way over to the Raw or SmackDown roster. Now, if I have to pick somebody on the women's side, I don't have anybody in particular who stands out. I mean, Tiffany Stratton was the one at one point in time, but she's obviously already in the SmackDown roster. If I kind of have to choose somebody, I would put Lash Legend, but I know she's in that relationship with Trick Williams, so it doesn't make any sense. I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure who in the women's division on the NXT side is ready to jump up into the WWE Raw or the SmackDown roster. I guess if I had to choose somebody, because I can't think of Thea, because Thea would have to go obviously with the whole Chase U. I'm just trying to think. You know what? Maybe I'm jumping the gun. Maybe, just maybe. But maybe Val
Blair
Val Val
Davenport.
Valkyria. I think Lyra Valkyria can probably make her way over. I mean, she did hold it down in NXT as the women's champion, and now she's lost twice for the NXT heavyweight champion. So it's for the women's. So I think that's probably maybe one of the women's wrestlers that could make her way over to the one of the main rosters, in my opinion. I think one of those two will definitely. I think she makes sense because she went ahead and she tried her chance. She did what she had to do, and now all of a sudden, she's kind of like in a losing streak. So maybe it's a way for her to segue her out of NXT and now push her into the main roster. And remember, Becky Lynch is the heavyweight women's champion, and when Becky Lynch was in the NXT roster, Becky Lynch fought against uh Lyra Valkyria. So that could be the reason why they might bring her over and she might go to Raw, because now you could actually bring back that feud between those two women. And now you have yourself an opponent
Oh, that
for
makes sense.
Becky Lynch. So I'm very interested to see. Who do you think? Do you have anybody in particular that you might think you might see going and jumping to the Raw or SmackDown roster from the NXT side?
Not from the top of my head, to be honest with you. I mean, there's so many possibilities, to be honest with you. But from the top of my head, I mean, is Blair Davenport still wrestling in NXT?
Yes, yes, she is. She is still there. She hasn't been showing up in a minute. Um, or did she fight? I think she might have. Did she fight? I think she might have fought in. No, no, she did fight. She fought. She fought yesterday. She actually fought yesterday. Yeah, she did fight yesterday. Um,
So maybe her.
she's a she's a good one too. Like you got some of them that are actually like still like maybe can make their way
But
over
typically,
there.
it's
Like
always like the past. It's typically always like the past champions that kind of move over now to the next roster.
yeah, like I would have thought if Roxanne Perez would have lost last night, it would have been Roxanne Perez, especially since she did go ahead and wrestle that. Again, don't quote me on this. I don't know if she was in Raw or it was on SmackDown where she did the match. So they already were like kind of giving her the opportunity to showcase herself over there. But by her winning the belt or retaining the belt, and WWE already confirming that they're not gonna allow any champion to move. All the champions are staying in their rosters. So there's no draft. None of the draft wrestlers are going to be any champion. They're all staying in the same spot that they stay. So we will see. But now let's jump a little bit to some fight news, some quick fight news. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was this past weekend's fight. Mr. Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney. Sir, talk to me. We spoke about Ryan Garcia. We said about his all crazy ass cryptic type of messages and all that stuff. I'm gonna be honest with you, just like you were honest with me with NXT. I wasn't able to catch the whole Ryan Garcia Devin Haney fight, but I did see the highlights. Sir, let me get your take. I know you were watching. Talk to me,
Yeah.
man. What happened and what did you think about that fight?
First off, Ryan Garcia with his uh theatrical character that he's been building up throughout this whole promotion has really built a lot of views, and people really were doubting what Ryan Garcia can really do as a boxer, especially how he was, he was overweight, he did not make weight, he was drinking a beer while he was after the weigh-ins and stuff like that. So it caused a lot of people doubt. And so when he came into the ring, it was just a complete different person. Straight from the get-go, the guy rocked Haney with his left hook. And to be honest with you, Haney was giving him the good jab throughout the next 4 or 5 rounds. But after like the 5th or 6th round, that's when, Ryan Garcia took over and he really was trying to knock him out. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't want to sound controversial, but man, the ref gave Haney a lot of shots. I mean, Haney threw out around like 7 to 9. That guy fell like 3 times, and then the ref was like, "No, no, no, that we're not gonna count that as knockdowns." So it was very awkward, like everything. But overall, Ryan Garcia, great cardio even after missing weight, and he proved a lot of people wrong. And another thing, Haney, a lot of people, I guess, found out that Haney just has a glass chin.
Mm. I mean, I really feel that he does have a glass chin because I was seeing the highlights and I saw that Ryan Garcia kept like tapping him. I mean, he was giving him that left hook and Haney was just dropping down. Great fight though. Very exciting. Huge underdog. And I'm not gonna lie to you. At the end of the day, a lot of people made money because nobody expected Ryan Garcia to win that fight. I will say this though, and I've been talking to a couple of people and informing them. I do feel that that whole strategy of not making weight and all that stuff, I thought that was a tactic by Ryan Garcia. I honestly felt that he wanted to be very bigger compared to Haney. So by him being 3 pounds over the weight limit, he didn't mind going ahead and losing the 1.5 million penalty for going over the weight. He was a lot stronger, so he hydrated and he was over 20 pounds over the weight limit after that. So he had that muscle and he had a lot of power on him. Not to mention, the guy betted on himself to win.
Mm,
So he ended
yeah,
up winning like 12 million or something like that. So for
correct.
him, he was, I mean, you got to give the guy his props. He basically went ahead and said, "Look, I'm going to dish out 1.5 million in being overweight, but it's going to give me the upper edge when I fight this guy in the ring. And then if I win, which I'm forecasting I'm going to win, I'm going to make a shitload of money because I just bet on myself to win." And that's exactly what happened. So,
The thing was is that Ryan Garcia is not really known for going the distance, and so a lot of people, when they saw that this match was going 8 9 rounds deep, people were waiting for Haney to come back and give him a counter because he was already kind of like gassing out towards the end. But honestly, man, he did not miss a step. And I mean, you might call me crazy, but if Tank can come up from 135 and move to 140 and fight Ryan Garcia, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a lot closer than what people think.
and you know what you said is true. Ryan Garcia has 25 wins and 1 loss. Obviously, that 1 loss was against Gervonta Davis, when Gervonta Davis beat him in the 7th round. But out of those 25 wins, 20 of them are knockouts by, Ryan Garcia, and the other 5 were decisions. So you're absolutely right. He actually doesn't usually go all 12 rounds. He usually knocks these people out before they even
Mm.
make it all the way to a 12th round. So that is impressive. I was shocked to see that Ryan Garcia held up all 12 rounds. And as a matter of fact, it looked like Ryan Garcia, for the most part, took over in the later rounds more than what he was doing in the first couple of rounds. The first couple of rounds, that's when Haney was actually winning the fight, in my opinion. And then Ryan Garcia kind of took over after that and was able to, take the advantage and then obviously knock him down a couple of times. So very, very good fight. Very impressive. My question to you is, sir, do we see it running back? Do they run it back? Because remember, because of Ryan Garcia missing weight, the WBC super lightweight title was not on the line. Do they run it back?
The logical sense is yes. But will they run it back? I just don't know how in between the rematch will be. I'm maybe they'll give Ryan Garcia another fight like one of those fights where, like, I don't want to say it's a weaker opponent, but it's just an opponent that they feel like Ryan Garcia has the better odds in beating, and then they'll hit him up with the rematch.
I mean, I honestly feel that if they do a rematch, Haney's going to be a little bit better prepared, and it's not going to make any sense if Ryan Garcia again misses weight. That's all I got to say. If Ryan Garcia misses weight again, then I'm going to start questioning him and be like, "Yo, what's going on here, bro? This guy's kind of being a little bit sneaky and dirty."
That's why you gotta sneak in one of those that fight in between so that you can see if he's taking the next fight seriously or not. You know what I'm saying?
That's not a bad idea. Yeah, that's definitely
So
not a bad idea.
it's good to prep him up, have Oscar De La Hoya give him a little bit of that extra medicine, if you know what I mean. And
That white medicine? Yeah, you know,
but yeah,
that
man.
those two were partying it up. And then did you see Ryan Garcia when he was in the plane and he was like, "Yo, I'm going to Miami, baby," and he was like singing and doing, dude, that
And,
guy is,
and did you see that he was talking shit? He was like, "Yo, screw Logan Paul, screw KSI,
yeah.
man."
I mean, you
I
know
wouldn't be
what, man?
surprised if Jake Paul comes and now with Jake Paul, if Jake Paul beats Mike Tyson, which I doubt it, but if Jake Paul some way somehow can beat Mike Tyson, then I wouldn't be surprised if they start flirting that idea either of Ryan Garcia versus Jake Paul. But I don't think that's gonna happen.
Well, a lot of people, I don't know about that Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson bout. I mean, that I feel that Mike Tyson's probably getting paid a little bit more. That way, it could just go 12 rounds and call it a day. I think that's what they're doing. I don't think they're gonna take that fight seriously. I hope they do. I'm rooting for Mike Tyson to knock him out because Mike Tyson has the punching power, and you've seen the couple of videos that he's posted on social media saying, "Yo, he's gonna knock this guy out. He's gonna knock that guy out. He still has the power. He still has the speed. Compared to you and me, I mean, he'll rock us out. But against Jake Paul, I don't know, man. I think probably that fight is gonna be bought. That's just my opinion. I don't think it would make sense for Jake Paul to win, and then you're right, line him up against Ryan Garcia, right? And if the money's right, why not?
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I do think, Memo, you did mention they might be going 10 rounds. I do believe it is 10 rounds. I'm not too sure. But only time will tell. We'll keep in touch and with boxing once we see that fight approach and any other big fight that, man, lives up to the hype. Because I'm not gonna lie, man, this fight lived up to the hype. I was surprised, man. I honestly thought this was gonna be
It was
a,
really good.
yeah, I mean, I honestly thought that at the end of the day, this was gonna be a crappy fight, but shout out to him, man. Shout out to him. And you gotta love No P here. Jake Paul pays off his opponents for clout. I do agree with that, No P. Yes, absolutely. And No P also says Tyson needs the money. I think so too, right? Because I think he was doing the whole marijuana thing, and I don't think that's working for him as much before. So, but I mean, I know that at one point in time Mike Tyson was doing like shows in Las Vegas as well. So I don't know, man. I mean, but you know Mike Tyson, man. He spends his money on stupid stuff. So that's just how Mike Tyson works. But let's go ahead and let's move on to the next topic of the night. And third, it is a very important topic. It is tomorrow's NFL draft, sir. And that is the Miami
Correct.
Dolphins going ahead. And what are they going to do, sir? What is the Miami Dolphins going to do? Are they going to go ahead and draft a quarterback? Are they going to go ahead and draft an offensive lineman? Are they going to go for a defensive tackle to replace Christian Wilkins? Are they going to go ahead and go after a safety? They need needs in safety. Are they going to go ahead and get another wide receiver? That was another big topic that people were talking about. Sir, the Miami Dolphins have a lot going on right now. In your opinion, sir, and I'm going to pull this up. That's why I wanted to share this with you. Here is what the Dolphins have. A recap. Miami Dolphins were 20-23 with a record of 11-6. They were second in the AFC East. They didn't win the division. They lost to the Kansas City Chiefs in the wild card round. They have the number one pick. I'm sorry, round number one pick is 21st pick. Round number two, they have picked 55, and then they have two fifth-round picks, one from 158 and 184. The 184 is acquired from the Chicago Bears in that Dan Feeney trade. And then they got round 6 and round 7, picks 198 and 241. Third, talk to me, man. What are the Miami Dolphins going to do with that number one pick?
So I did my mock draft, and I didn't go crazy, and I didn't want to do no like trades and speculations. I just wanted to go straight towards what we need, and obviously we need a center, and we got to go with Jackson Powers Johnson from Oregon. I mean, he's the guy who kind of sets the tone, has the scheme, has the power, has the strength. He's 21 years old. I mean, he has great mass. He has quick acceleration. He's also known for a leader. He's been a 3-year captain on and off the field. And, I truly believe a true center would really help to make sure that things are running smoothly. The center position kind of dictates where the line and all that stuff is going in, and so man, I think they're gonna go with what draft pick are we in, the 21st? So I think
21,
Jackson
21.
Powers Johnson. 21 would be Jackson Powers Johnson. Let's just not flirt with the whole quarterback BS right now. No, we're going for the center, bro.
Well, sir, let me go ahead and share this as well with you, sir. And these are the ones that the NFL.com has projected. So the Dolphins have Daniel Jeremiah says Graham Barton from Duke, the offensive lineman, will go with the Dolphins. Charles Davis, he says the edge rusher from FSU, Jared Versh, which is a good choice. Lance Zealer is a third line. The edge rusher, Chop Robinson from Penn State, not bad. Bucky Brooks has your man, Jackson Powers Johnson, going with the Dolphins. And then Peter Schreiber has another back, the edge rusher again from Florida State, Jared Versh. These analysts have the Miami Dolphins picking either an offensive lineman or an edge rusher. My question to you is, Nick, I like Jackson Powers, 21-year-old kid, very, very, has a lot of potential, has a lot of things going for him. Is he going to be available? That's my concern. 21. I mean, there's a lot of teams out there that need help on the O-line. The New York Jets are one of them, and they're in front of us. What makes you think that the Miami Dolphins might get this guy? And if he's not available, who should the Dolphins get after? If that's the case, if this guy's not available.
If he's not available, then you got to go for the next available O-line or center. I just want someone to. I'm very already tired of seeing the Dolphins trying to create this hybrid role of having a left or right guard convert into a center. Just get a true center, man. If Powers Johnson is not there, then get the next best center. But we need a center. I mean, look at the last great center we had. Technically, was Mike Pouncey, and it just really just truly sets the tone with this O-line. And if we're gonna start being cute and trying to make these hybrid, what's really gonna work for us, and it hasn't been working for us. And so I truly believe we just got to get the next best position when it comes to center.
Well, when you say the next best position for the center position, here are the potential guys that we see out there, and I have them listed out here. Offensive lineman, Washington, Troy Fautano. He's very good. As they say, he's a tackle prospect. He should be powerful enough to fill it at the guard position, so he's able to move that way. Obviously, your guy, Jackson Powers Johnson, only 21 years old. He's a plug-and-play guy. You're easily going to have him go in there, in and out very quickly. He fits Mike McDaniel's rushing scheme. That's why that guy makes perfect sense for the Dolphins. My only concern is I don't think he's going to be available for the Dolphins. You have the Duke guy, Graham Barton, which is not bad. Another guard, you could stick him in there. Dolphins need them. Remember, we lost a Robert Hunt, right?
Robert Hunt. Mm-hmm.
We lost Robert Hunt this year. So, and this guy's a big guy, man. Look at 6'5", 313 pounds. He's powerful run blocker. Remember, when it comes to the run, Mike McDaniel is the type of guy who wants to see guys who can be strong, but could also run around there and make it physical. And this guy is a great option as well. If the Dolphins do not get, in my opinion, Jackson Powers Johnson, I do want them to go ahead and get Graham Barton. That's the guy I want the Dolphins to get. I think he is big. He's movable. He reminds me a lot of Robert Hunt. Guy can do what he has to do to get this shit done. The other three guys that we have listed here is Florida State edge rusher Jared Versh. If the Dolphins do decide to go on the defensive side of the ball, that is the guy that the Dolphins should get. I'm not a Florida State fan, but Florida State is and has been very, very talented and strong with Jared Versh on their defense. And he could be a strong position. He could be the guy who replaces Christian Wilkins at the end of the day as well. The other two guys that we have there is the UCLA. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Jesus Christ! So I'm just gonna say his last name, Latu. And here's the issue with Latu, and this is the reason why he could fall to Miami, and he could even fall to Miami in the second round, is the fact that he has had medical issues. But if this guy is able to clear medically, he could be a steal for the Dolphins, man. And that is one of the things that really, really catches a lot of Dolphin fans' eye because of the simple fact that he's just, I mean, the guy medically retired after the 2020 season, but the guy is solid. The guy is strong. He is very, very capable of being a powerhouse for our defense. It's just the medical history is just not favoring him. But again, that could favor the Dolphins because they'll drop. Sean goes ahead and says Barton will probably be gone by 21. He has gained momentum. He has, man. He's the one I want, bro. To be honest with you, I don't think the Oregon kid is going to be able to drop down like that. But I think Barton has a better shot of dropping down. Let's see what No P says. We haven't had a good Miami football team in a minute. Well, No P, I wouldn't go ahead and say that. I mean, the last 2 years the Dolphins have made it to the playoffs. So I'm not gonna go as far as saying that we haven't had a good team. We've had a pretty solid team. We just our expectation has increased and has gotten a little bit more how you say it, more like exigente, like we expect more out of the Dolphins, you know. And the last one is the Illinois defensive tackle. Again, some of these names, man, I don't know how to pronounce them that great. Jerzan Newton, and one of the most athletic pass rushers on the defensive side. Christian Wilkins heading off into free agency with the Vegas Raiders. This guy would be a good guy to have there and replace him. So it really just depends what the Dolphins decide to do, if they're going to go ahead and draft an offensive lineman or go somewhere in the defensive side. Third, talk to me, man. Do you think the Miami Dolphins will go offense or defense with this draft?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I actually have the Dolphins picking 1, 2, 3 defensively. 1, 2. How many picks we have? 6, right? Or 5? 1,
We
2.
have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 picks.
So I say half and half, 3 and 3.
All right. And the reason I ask you this, Nick, is because I wanted to go ahead and share something with you. And I've been sharing it with you guys because I've been wanting to go ahead and show you what Chris Grier has been doing. You know, this is where for me it kind of opens my eyes a little bit. So let's talk a little bit about what happened here. Oh, I pulled up the wrong one. Hold on a second, guys. Let me pull up the right one. Let me remove this one and let's bring in
By the way, guys, don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe, tell your friends and family. And update score for the Heat, 75-70. The Heat are up by 5 with 5 minutes left in the third quarter.
All right, man. So good to know. Good to see that the Miami Heat are still in this game and they're not choking. And like I said, this is the best game for them to try to squeeze and try to win and take this game away from Boston. All right, so let's look at the history of Chris Grier. And Chris Grier obviously started his kind of like his main role back in 2016. So Chris Grier has drafted only 2 Pro Bowl selections since 2016. Only 2 drafted. Okay, very important
I don't see it. I don't see it. Do you see it?
Yes, the 2 guys that were drafted were Tua Tagovailoa and Xavier Howard. Those are the only 2 that he's been able to get make it to the Pro Bowl because Jalen Waddle has not made it.
I don't. Oh, there you go. Now I see it. Okay, I thought you.
Oh, the screen wasn't showing for you?
No, I wasn't.
Oh, my bad. My bad. Yeah, it was going up. So the 2 guys that were there, Tua Tagovailoa made the first Pro Bowl following the 2023 season, and Xavier Howard made it in 2016 as a second round. He made it obviously to 4 Pro Bowls. So those are the only 2 guys that Chris Grier has drafted and have been Pro Bowlers. And it's a little bit concerning, but
wow,
we'll see. Chris Grier drafted a safety, Mika Fitzpatrick, an offensive tackle, Laramie Tunsil, a wide receiver, Jakeem Grant, who went on to make Pro Bowl with another team. So all these three players have made it to the Pro Bowl, but without after they left the Miami Dolphins. So he has found the talent, but these guys have left and done better in other teams. Now, granted, Mika Fitzpatrick is an exception because Mika Fitzpatrick was the whole situation with Brian Flores. Laramie Tunsil was that trade that allowed us to do the whole Tyreek Hill trade. And then Jakeem Grant we just let him go because we had too many receivers. And keep in mind, Jakeem Grant made it because of the simple fact that he was in special teams. That's the only reason. Miami win-loss record, right? 2020, they were 10-6. 2021, they were 9-8. They were also 9-8 in 2022. And they were 11-6 in 2023. The Miami Dolphins, 4 straight winning seasons for the first time since 1997 to 2003. So not bad by Chris Grier. Miami currently holds only 2 picks in the top 150 overall in 2024 draft. They only hold 2 picks in the top 150. A lot of the things to go ahead and actually, analyze. Let me keep going. Hold on a second, guys. Let me pull this up as well because I have more. And this is just me getting research and doing some research here. Here is the next one. Back in and this is also like moves that he has done. So he traded the 2022 first round pick in the deal for Tyreek Hill. So that's why we didn't have a pick in 2022. He traded the number 1 of their 2023 first round pick in the deal for Bradley Chubb. And obviously the Miami Dolphins forfeited the 2023 first round pick for violating the tampering rules. That was the whole Brady situation. So that year we had 2 first round picks, 2 picks in the first round, and one of them was given away because of the Bradley Chubb, and one of them was because of our owner being an idiot. The Dolphins have made a trade involving first round picks in each of the last 5 drafts. Very, very interesting to hear that. In 2019, they traded Mika Fitzpatrick to the Pittsburgh Steelers for that 2020 first and traded Laramie Tunsil and wide receiver Kenny Stills to Houston for that 2020 first and that 2021 first, another pick swaps that they had. In 2020, the Dolphins went ahead and traded down from pick number 26 to number 30, and they selected Green Bay selected that Jordan Love, while Miami selected Noah Iganagabi. So you could see how that trade went and those picks. 2021, the Miami Dolphins traded down from the number 3 to the number 12 and back up to number 6 to get Jalen Waddle. In 2022, the Miami Dolphins acquired Tyreek Hill from Kansas City for 2022 first round pick, number 29, and 4 other picks. So keep that in mind. Remember, guys, we gave up a first round and 4 other picks for Tyreek Hill. And then lastly, obviously we had mentioned it, Bradley Chubb came to the Dolphins, and that's because we gave up our 2023 first round pick for it. Sir, talk to me, man. Overall grade. What do you think Chris Grier has done? Has he been productive? Has he been successful, or has he been kind of mediocre in your eyes?
I gotta give him A for effort. He's been trying his best to set up the best team around Tua Tagovailoa, or just having the best team overall in his sting as a general manager. But when it comes to effectiveness and execution with these players, I give it a C. It hasn't. It is brought in is given him enough to pass, but it hasn't been enough to give him a higher grade because we haven't really done the accomplishments that the people or the media has expected us. We haven't won the division, we haven't won a playoff game. Yeah, we've finally made it over to the playoffs, but we're first round pretty much losses, and so I can't shoot down that he's not trying. But I can't either tell him that it's been great executed transactions. Overall, I believe he found out that now realize that he needs to now go drive heavy and find out that, you know, we need players that with, you know, rookie contracts and that could really, you know, contribute big to the team within their rookie contracts.
I mean, in my opinion, man, I have to agree with you. I will go ahead and give him. I'll give him a C plus. And the only reason I give him a C plus is because, yeah, with the picks that he has done, and with the, I guess, with the free agents that he's brought in, they've, he's managed them to get him to the playoffs. And I think Sean is expecting us to give him a way better grade. He kept saying, "I see we have we have had winning seasons," and I understand that, but you also gotta grade the whole totality of the team. The whole totality is, when you look at what he's done, he's made some mistakes. He brought in Brian Flores. He wasn't the right guy. There's people questioning Mike McDaniel now. He might not be the right guy. There you had Vic Fangio, another coach that you brought in, hoping that he was going to get it resolved. I understand that Mike McDaniel was pushing for him, but Chris Greer is the guy who has to sign off of it. So again, another decision that wasn't the best. Anthony Weaver looks like a good decision, but we have yet to notice. When we go to drafting, you saw what we have. He's only been able to draft 2 Pro Bowlers in since 2016. 2. So that leaves a lot to desire, my friend. Especially since the Dolphins have had quite a few first round picks early on into that 2019 season. So a little bit of a hiccup here and there. Free agency wise, you could go ahead and give him props for all the stuff that he did, as far as bringing in Tyreek Hill, as far as bringing in Teron Armstead, as far as bringing in Connor Williams. But you also got to take into account that if he would have made probably the correct draft picks, maybe, just maybe, those transactions weren't needed. You had Laramie Tunsil. Did you really have to trade Larry Tunsil and get Tyreek Hill? I mean, the opportunity is there. Some of you guys might say yes. At that time, it looked like a phenomenal trade. Now we're looking at it a little bit more of like, okay, it was a very good trade, but has it panned out? Is it worth it? Because now we're paying Tyreek Hill all this money, but at the same time, we're short when it comes to paying some of our other better players. We never got to sign Christian Wilkins. He wanted his money. Yes, of course. But at the same time, did he deserve that money? That's you guys to judge. We don't know. But he let him walk. Andrew Van Ginkel left. That could have been a guy that they probably could have kept. Now, again, Anthony Weaver maybe said, hey, I don't want him. I don't need him. That's another thing. We don't know all these free agents he just signed for 1-year contracts, if this is good, if this is going to pan out, or if this is something that's going to hurt us and bite us in the butt. Because at the end of the day, we don't know how this team chemistry is going to be. We have no idea at the end of the day if this defense is going to make any type of headline compared to last year. And then the first thing that's going to happen is, as soon as the defense starts to choke, if they do, hopefully not, we're going to start blaming Chris Greer, right? Who would be the right person to blame? Him, because he's the one who got ahead and decided to sign up all these guys and give them 1-year deals. So it's a little bit of a, yes, he's done positive things, but you got to look at the totality and see that he's done some mistakes, man. He drafted Tua. Yes, Tua has been the best quarterback since Dan Marino. We're going to pay Tua. I hope they're paying Tua, because now the pressure's on Tua. You got to deliver. Like, you want to be a franchise QB, they're going to pay you as a franchise QB. Now you have no excuses. Now you have to lead us, whether you like it or not. So I think this is really good that they're going to sign Tua, because now it gives more ammo for, like, myself and for any person who doesn't agree that Tua is the franchise QB of this Dolphins team to try to prove himself. And I think this is going to be good for Tua. He's either going to make it or he's going to break it. Same stuff that happened with Ryan Tannehill when we went ahead and we gave Ryan Tannehill, and Tannehill at the end of the day choked. So we had to move on from him. Now, I do want to mention, and I do want to show you guys one last thing before we move on to the next topic. And it's what the Miami Dolphins have done recently in the draft and with these positions. So, Nick, let me know if you can see this. Can you see this? Can you see it?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
All right, cool. So, let me see what some of you guys are actually saying in the chat. So, Chad says Fangio was McDaniel's decision, not Greer. Greer has to sign off of that, sir. That's all I gotta say. Our owner is an idiot. No, P is so funny, bro. And Tyreek Hill, fire. Yes, he is. And needs some tutoring from Carter Reddy or what is this guy? Oh my god, this freaking guy. Anyways, I know that No P must be somebody that knows me from back in the day because mentioning that, not too many people know about that particular comment. So No P, I
That's
kind of have
classic.
I know who that is. So now let's go ahead and show you this. And this is what I wanted to show you. It's the Miami Dolphins draft picks per position. So the last time the Miami Dolphins picked a quarterback was back in 2020 with Tua Tagovailoa. The last time the Miami Dolphins picked a running back, high end up there was Ronnie Brown with the second round pick. Jalen Waddle, the most recent wide receiver that they picked in 2021. They've never picked the first round tight end, man. Can you believe that? That they've never picked the first round uh tight end, which is shocking. Offensive tackle, the last one that they did was Austin Jackson. Offensive guard. Look at that. Look at that, Nick. That's what I wanted to show you. And this is the reason why I wanted to show you. The last time the Miami Dolphins got an actual offensive guard and drafted him in the first round. And these are all draft picks in the first round. Sorry, let me clarify that. These are all first round picks. So these are per position. So the last time the Dolphins got a wide receiver in the first round with the sixth pick was Jalen Waddle. Ronnie Brown with the second pick overall. The last time in the first round that the Miami Dolphins got an offensive guard was back in 1982. I wasn't even born, and I don't think you were even in you weren't even gonna be like in mom or dad's head to be like, let's conceive them. That shocks me, my friend. Shocks me that, bro. 1982. So that's when I go and I say, hey, we're looking at these prospects as far as who Miami can get. And I don't know, man. I don't know if we're going to get an offensive guard because at the end of the day, we haven't drafted one since 1982 in the first round, which is insane. So I do feel that the Oregon kid would be, I mean, he's a straight center. So he would actually fall in that particular, like he would be there. And the last time the Dolphins did get a first round center was back in 2011 with Mike Pouncey with the 15th pick. And look where he went. He was from Florida, baby. Yeah, Florida Gators. Shout out to Mike Pouncey. I actually went to school with him. I was in UF while he was there as well. So shout out to him as well. Cat for Life says, gentlemen, what's the damage? Did the Heat win? Nick, give us that update. Did the Miami Heat win or the Miami Heat?
End of the third quarter, 85-79 Heat are winning.
I like it. I like it. Remember, this is the game where they're gonna steal a win from the Boston Celtics. Defensive end, Jalen Phillips, 2021. Defensive tackle, Christian Wilkins. The last time the Miami Dolphins draft picked a linebacker in the first round was in 1992. Nick, you weren't even born. You
No,
weren't
sir.
even born, my friend. With the 12th pick. Back in 2020, the most electrifying pick that Chris Greer did, along with your boy, we picked Noah Iganagami, and he sucked. And then finally in 2018, another Brian Flores pick right there, Mika Fitzpatrick, which that was a good pick, but unfortunately, Brian Flores situation hurt us. Sir, I wanted to show you, and I wanted to show everybody who's tuning in, because what does this tell you? Does this change your mind as far as what the Miami Dolphins are going to do tomorrow night with the 21st pick?
I don't think so, man. I really do think if Power Johnson's there, then they're gonna go after him. It seems like for sure guard is not in the works. I mean, 1982, that's crazy. So from the looks of it, it's either a defensive end, defensive tackle, or center. To be honest with you,
Yeah, man.
or
Yeah.
they'll trade down. Maybe they'll trade down for some teams that may need other and pick more and get more picks. Maybe trade down with Green Bay or trade down with maybe possibly Dallas. Maybe maybe randomly do other teams that we feel like they can offer a really good trade backs. So we'll see, man. I have the Dolphins. Really not. I'm very straightforward, and I really do think they're gonna aim for a center. Right now, especially that we're gonna make Tua the franchise quarterback for this for the Miami Dolphins. So we got to build that wall, man. And I think that's the next thing that the Dolphins need to focus on is build that wall to protect them and make sure that he has enough time and can be healthy throughout the whole season.
Well, I agree with you, man, but I also agree with Cat for Life's comment here. The Miami Dolphins will do Miami Dolphin things. Don't know if that's a good or bad, but it will fill up time. That's for damn sure. We know that when we think we know something, when we feel like they're gonna go in one direction, they always go an opposite direction. So only time will tell. But sir, I'm excited. Tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, we will be at the Dolphins draft party, right? You and me will be out there. Is it open to
Correct.
the pub? Is it open to the public as well? I think so, right? You don't have to have like a RSVP for it, do you?
I'm not quite sure. I RSVP'd 4 tickets just in case. It's gonna be at Pier 5 at Bayside from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. My rep Jordan already gave me the details and where to park and how it's gonna affect parking because apparently there's a marathon going on around that area in downtown around 6:45 p.m. But I'm gonna be excited, man. Oh, it's nice to have a first round draft pick as usual, and we'll see who will be the next big picks for this year's draft. And I had a mock draft. I kind of want to run it down real quick. In the
Sure.
second round, I really like a kid named Brandon Fisk. He's a defensive tackle from Florida State. He brings a lot of versatility. His stats were pretty good: 6 sacks, 43 tackles, 9 tackles for loss. So that would kind of give Sealer some help. And if he's not on the line, then I will like Dwayne Carter, aka Mr. Duke. He has explosiveness, great feet leverage, a great upper body strength. The only downside is that he's kind of I don't want to say he's on the older side, but he's a very experienced college player. He's 24 years old, so we just don't know what we're gonna get out of him. But maybe that would be a good thing. Some people see it as a bad thing, but I see that as and he can play the 3-4 or the 4-3. And then in the fifth round, I see the Dolphins going after a kid named Garrett Greenfield from South Dakota State. He's a hybrid role. The Dolphins like to take, hybrid positions. His main position is left tackle. So we got to think about filling in that space for when Teron Armstead retires. And he also has the versatility of playing right tackle, right guard. And then in the 198th pick, I have DeAndre Prince. He's a cornerback from Ole Miss. He has great hands. He has great instinctiveness. Great tackler, by the way, too. So we also got to think about who we're gonna, replace Jalen Ramsey in the future or Fuller. And then last but not least, the Dolphins. I've realized the Dolphins really like to pick running backs really late in the draft. And I saw a kid named, let me see here. His name is George Hulani. I'm maybe butchering his last name, but he's from Boise State. And the last person we picked up from Boise State was Jay Ajayi. So maybe he gives me Myles Gaskin vibes. So he's kind of someone that I feel like can bring in extra running back depth. And then last but not least, I know you were talking about the edge rusher for UCLA. I don't remember his name, the one that you just mentioned.
Latu.
Latu.
Yeah.
So I actually like the other kid, Gabriel Murphy. He's 6'2", 247. He's an edge rusher. That would probably be the last pick of the draft. He has great explosiveness, great jump from the line, great height, good speed. The only thing that he is that he kind of lacks on arm strength. So, I mean, arm length and arm strength. So that's something that will kind of bring him down in the draft capital. But that's kind of like my mock draft. So if you noticed, I kind of have a little bit of half and half. I got 3 offensive pieces and I got 3 defensive pieces.
Sir, you messed up because you do not have a quarterback there, and I think the Miami Dolphins will draft a quarterback in the later rounds, and I think they're gonna use that to either get rid of Mike White or um, move on from Skyler. To be honest with you, that's just me. But sir, tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, we will be tuned in and see what the Miami Dolphins decide to do. If the Miami Dolphins go offense, go defense, or they just surprise us and they get a kicker. Like No P was saying.
I wouldn't be surprised either, man. I wouldn't be. By the way, Heat are up by 7, 88-81, 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
All right, since the Heat are still playing, let's go ahead and jump to a new slide right here for you guys, and that is the Florida Panthers and the Cats. The Florida Panthers making it happen out there last night. They were going against, of course, the Tampa Bay Lightning, and they beat them, and they beat them in overtime. Big win for the Cats. Shout out to Bob, man. Bob is just amazing, bro. That guy, bro, is playing like a fucking champion. That's what I like about the Florida Panthers. The fact that your team is gonna go as far as your goaltender actually protects. So if your goalie's able to stop all the pucks going in, you're gonna have a hell of a run. And I think the Panthers have a good shot at going over there to Tampa and stealing one from Tampa. I still have the Panthers winning this series 4-1. That's what I have right now, sir. Talk to me, man. Did you get a chance to watch the game? And what's your prediction when it comes to the Florida Panthers and Tampa Bay?
Yeah, man. Sergei Bobrovsky, he did probably one of the best saves I've ever seen in hockey playoff history. When you have great pieces like Ekblad coming back from the defense and really just holding it down the 4 back there. And then you got the 2 big pieces that we have up in the front. We got Chucky and Barkov. Obviously, unfortunately, Sam Bennett, which is one of our key players offensively, he had left the ice around the second quarter. Reports say that it's not as severe as it was projected based off on what reports have said. So he's week to week, but we still have good pieces that are going to come in. And I mean, look at Verhaeghe. Verhaeghe is very clutch. He did the overtime game-winning goal. And so hopefully we just go ahead and continue winning this series. I don't see the Panthers winning in 5. I see them winning it maybe in 6. I see the Panthers winning it 4-2. And funny enough, there was a ex-Panthers player that I didn't even know he plays in Tampa now. His name is Duclair.
Oh yeah,
and he left. He left Panthers to go to the Tampa Bay Lightning, and so right now it kind of people are kind of throwing memes at him. I'm like, man, I wish I was on the other side right now. And so let's see. Cats right now, they're playing really well. They picked up great pieces throughout the kind of the quarter end of the season, and so we just have to bring in that good push and hope that everything works out for us.
Yeah, man, and I think having Bob play the way he is, it reminds me of the Beezer. That was probably before your time, Nick, but John Van Beesbrook, I'll never forget those years. I remember at that time, guys, we didn't have any cable in the house. So the way I would watch and listen to the Florida Panther playoff games would be on the radio. So literally I would be doing my homework and I would have the radio next to me and I'll be listening to the play-by-play of the Florida Panthers when they were playing and making that huge run eventually to make it to the Stanley Cup Finals that year, where I believe they played the Avalanche and they unfortunately got swept. But hey, man, it's great to see the Florida Panthers show out. And I know if you are not a hockey fan, I'm gonna tell you something right now, man. You gotta go to a hockey playoff game. Jesus Christ.
Definitely.
If you're not a hockey fan, I get you. But even if you're not a hockey fan, go to a playoff game, dude. The excitement there at those hockey games is amazing, bro. Now, word of advice, you are going to a hockey game, so it's gonna be cold. So make sure you bring a sweater or you bring your Florida Panther jersey, whatever, to keep yourself warm because it does get really chilly in there. But amazing experience. Me and my brother went last year to the finals, and we went to the Miami Heat finals. And when we had to grade one and the other, we eventually went ahead and said the Florida Panther final was 20,000 times better. And again, both of them lost, but just the atmosphere, the
Unfortunately.
yeah, the atmosphere was just incredible, man. We unfortunately we didn't win, but it was just out of this world. And I would recommend anybody who likes hockey and anybody who doesn't like hockey, and it doesn't have to be Florida Panthers. You could go to any hockey game. I would be one that would love to go to. Like if I was in Vegas, I would go to the Vegas Knights one because that, like, I know hockey's gonna be fun. So I will say this, and I give you guys this little nugget. If you ever go to a Florida Panthers game, they do have the nachos. So the nachos come in like a plate and like this helmet, and they fill it up and it's stacked. I'm gonna show you something. Hold on a second, guys. So of course I have my Penta Cero Miedo mascara, right? But what's holding the Penta Cero Miedo mascara is the Florida Panthers hat. And this is what the Florida Panthers offer you. So they give you this with a whole bunch of nachos in there, stacked up, very good. And then what you're gonna end up doing is once you're done, you go to the bathroom, you wash it down, and now you got yourself a Florida Panthers kind of little hat. You know, if you have kids or if you are a fan just like me, you can go ahead and use this for, as a memorabilia, bro. And you basically, not only did you get the nachos, but you actually got this as well as a kind of like a cool thing. And obviously, I use it for my Penta Cero Meal mascara that I put on here. So, so
Very
if you ever go
classic.
to a, so if you ever go to a Panthers game, make sure you order the nachos and then wash the cup, and then you could use it for like little things like this. And this is how I use it. So shout out to the Panthers. Definitely, I see them going deep, and hopefully, if they go to a game 5, I will do my best to try to make it because game 5 is in Miami or Sunrise, and I'm gonna see if I could get there. So, let me see what Cap for Life has to say. Cap says, "Super Bob save goal was legend, bro. He was, man,
Okay, Bam.
amazing."
Okay, Bam. Damn, that boy taking
Sir,
over right
we're gonna jump to some soccer, and then we'll leave it to the Miami Heat because I know you guys are tuning into the Heat. As far as soccer is concerned, ladies and gentlemen, we had a very interesting weekend. And sir, I know you had some exciting news, right? What happened this weekend with soccer? Who won and who lost, sir?
Obviously, the biggest rivalry in soccer, probably known to man, is Barcelona versus Real Madrid. And a Clásico happened on Sunday. And your team, our team, or actually my team, Real
Your team.
Madrid, was able to go ahead and capitalize and win in a close match. Um, Jude Bellingham, of course, came in clutch again. He hasn't scored in over 10 games, and you know, great players find a way to score in clutch matches and clutch moments. And Jude has ice in his veins right now, man. And he came through, and there was a lot of controversy. There was that whole thing when it came to there was a corner kick that was taking place, and then the young kid Lamina from Barcelona, he did like a back heel kick, and it hit Lunan from the inside of the goalpost. But La Liga doesn't have in-ball goal line technology where it can sense if the ball completely is inside the goal. And from how VAR was taking a look at it, it said that the ball did not pass completely. Even if there's an inch of the ball on the line, it's not in. And so Real Madrid was able to capitalize the win. And now they're 11 points ahead. There's still games left. There's still a lot of games left in La Liga, but it was a big win. They sweep the series 2-0 against Barcelona, and this is the 4 games straight that Barcelona loses against Real Madrid. when it comes to tournament play and league play. And pretty much it was an entertaining game. You know, it was really good. And were you able to catch it, Fresco?
Oh, of course, man. You think I wasn't gonna? You think I was gonna miss that game? That's a classico, man. I'm not a big La Liga fan. I'm more of a EPL. And shout out to my team, baby Everton, with the upset on Liverpool. You know, I want Liverpool to
Big team,
win the EPL championship because I'm not a fan of Arsenal and I'm not a fan of Man City. But if there's two teams that I want to always win, that is Chelsea and Everton, and that was a big win for Everton, especially since they're trying to avoid regulation. So I was ecstatic seeing that Everton pull off that 2-0 win. As far as El Clasico, man, it was a great match, man. I think Barcelona's a strong team. Barcelona's always been a powerhouse team in my eyes, and yes, they have their ups and downs, but I always said that Xavi Alonso has done a phenomenal job, and you mentioned it earlier before we
Xavi
got on
Iniesta.
that Xavi went ahead and extended his contract, so he's staying an extra year for Barcelona, which is good for them, man. Because let's keep it real, man. Xavi, he's a good coach. I'm shocked that you would let that guy walk. He's legit, man. I would love to have him as a coach.
Same here,
Um,
man.
yeah, dude, he's good. He's good, and yeah, maybe maybe you didn't win a championship. Maybe you won't win La Liga, but that doesn't take away from what he's able to accomplish, man. I mean, he's done a phenomenal. There was a point in time when when the whole Messi situation and he left and all that stuff, where Barcelona was kind of trending down, and I think Xavi was the one that kind of picked them back up. So
Definitely,
it's
man.
so I gotta give respect and props where it's due, and Xavi has done a phenomenal job. And if there's one person that I have a lot of respect in Barcelona, that's Xavi Alonso. And I think I'm
100%.
happy. I'm happy that he re-signed and he's gonna stay at least an extra year. Um, you look, man. I'm a Real Madrid fan. I'm not as a hardcore Real Madrid fan like you are, but I really want to see El Clásicos be competitive. I don't want to see a Clásico blown out with the one or the other. It was really fun to watch these two teams go at it. This past weekend,
Definitely.
it was, and it only makes more excitement to the rivalry. I'm glad that Real Madrid won, but at the end of the day, I think they did a great job. Barcelona re-signed, at least keeping him for an extra year, and the Barcelona will bounce back. Barcelona's a strong team. They're not. You guys know that I don't like Barcelona, but just because I don't like them, it doesn't mean I disrespect them. I respect that team. They're a powerhouse team. Look what they're doing,
Hmm.
and they just unfortunately fell a little bit short against PSG, and then eventually what ended up happening with Real Madrid, because they were in that game, man, too. They really were. They just fell short at the end of the day. Then Bellingham with that last minute goal, like in the 80 plus minute, man, it's just devastating for Barcelona. So, anything else you wanted to say about soccer, sir? It
I
looks like you're
mean, the
free.
thing. I mean, the thing is that both Real Madrid and Barcelona.
Say it again.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're like going a little bit in and out, but go ahead, go ahead.
That I was saying that Real Madrid and Barcelona are just they're so passionate, the fans, and just the organization in general, that they have such high expectations. I mean, for crying out loud, Barcelona won La Liga last year, and now they're reacting like if this is a meltdown. And then last year, Real Madrid lost the La Liga to Barcelona, and Madrid was going like, "Oh, this is a meltdown." So it's like we just have to take it season by season, and every season's important. And hopefully Real Madrid can finish the season strong and win this league, and then maybe even possibly win the Champions League now that next week Tuesday, or I think Wednesday it is, that they face against Bayern in Germany.
One last thing, in the soccer topic is shout out to Inter Miami. Inter Miami is on top of the MLS right now. They're number one. Um, And their defense sucks, but they've been at least doing enough to go ahead
That's right.
and be on top of the eastern side of the MLS standing. So shout out to them. Their next game will be this Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. And sure, the last thing I saved the best for last, and that of course is the Miami Heat. And the reason I'm saving the Heat for last is because talk to me, sir. What's the score going on right now with the Miami Heat? How are they holding up? What time do we have left, and what's the score
Um,
right now?
422, fourth quarter. Heat are up by 9, 191. Oh, Tyler Hero. Back. Here we go. Tyler Hero,
Well, let
shoot
me.
that three. Oh, Bam Adebayo. Oh my God, yo, Bam has been yo. He has eight fourth quarter points right now. 8 fourth quarter points. Very clutch right now. He had 11 points. Now he has 21.
Yep, I'm actually tuning in right now, and I see it that Bam Adebayo did go. I'm a little bit behind, and yeah, he did score on that one. So now the Heat are up by 102 to 91. So I think I'm a little bit
Caleb
behind from that.
Martin though. Caleb Martin stepping it up, bro. Caleb Martin has 18 points.
I'm gonna tell you something, man. If the Miami Heat are able to hold off, I'm gonna tell you something, man.
Heat
Watch
shooting
out, bro.
50%, 22 to 40. Oh,
Well, they shot a three. Yeah, they scored. I hate that guy. That guy from Boston, that bald guy. What the hell's his name? I hate that Boston. I hate that guy, bro. Damn, that guy sucks. I hate that guy, bro. He's so annoying. He hasn't
that's the guy
popped
who
up.
made that last minute layup last time.
Oh, Bam missed it, unfortunately. Hopefully they gotta play some defense. It's about 3 minutes to go, and the Heat are only up by 8. So they gotta play some defense right now. Not let these guys shoot any threes and not let them go in. Ooh, good. Oh, they called a foul. Damn it. All right, guys. Well,
Whoever betted on this game, if they played it, if whoever betted on the favor of the Heat, man, you're gonna make a lot of money today.
what was the betting odds? Did you know? Were they like plus what 200 something like that?
Plus 700, sir.
Oh snap! Damn,
You put
that's good money right there.
$100, you put $100, you win 800.
That was like that Ryan Garcia type of bet. I think Ryan Garcia was a plus 800, I think, or something. I think.
Plus 550 actually.
Oh, so you can make even more money. Yeah, no doubt, definitely, man.
No.
I'm telling you,
The Heat, you make more money with the Heat.
no, I know. What I'm saying is, no doubt that Boston always is gonna be on a dogfight against the Heat. Oh my God, Jesus Christ! All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go ahead and let you go. That way we could finish watching the game because I know you guys are tuning in. But I want to thank everybody that joined us in today's show. Shout out to No Doubt. Shout out to Cat for Life. Shout out to Chad 90 MFC. No P, sir. Thank you for dropping by. Sean Stanley, of course, Stanley Media House in the building. Official DJ Memo, what's up, brother? Thank you so much for stopping by as well. I want to thank everybody, and of course, I want to thank my brother, sir. Talk to me, man. Where can they find you in social media?
You can find me on X at That Way Nick. I'm very active on Twitter. You can also catch me on Twitch at Detrapio with 3 O's. Sometimes I like to play EAFC, so whoever wants to have a nice friendly game against me on the PlayStation Network, hit me up. And that's pretty much it, bro. Very grateful of having, this another episode of podcast. Grateful for everyone who tuned in. And let's see if the Miami Heat are able to take this home.
Yeah.
Maybe we go to game 3. Maybe we go to game 3.
Let's see, my friend. That's why I'm wearing the Heat hat. You guys notice I do not wear this Heat hat, but check it out. This is a Heat hat, a classic Heat hat. And you guys can also follow me at Frankie Fresco on YouTube. If you want to go ahead and follow me on all social media platforms, it's Fresco Music. The same, you see Fresco spelled right there. You could just search it and then just put music next to it, and you'll see I will pop up. Find me on Twitter, X, TikTok, all that stuff.
Let's go.
Also,
Pat Riley. Sorry, sir.
Also, don't forget to hit the like. Don't forget to hit that subscribe. Don't forget to share. And again, much appreciative everybody who tunes in day in and day out every Wednesday at 8 o'clock. The guys, you guys, we love doing this, but I'm happy that you guys can join me and my brother talking a little bit of Dolphins, Heat, South Florida sports, and then at the end, and also some NXT. That's just, it's a blessing, my friend. And if, oh, one last thing, if you guys, you can hear my brother going crazy over there because the Heat must have done something crazy. But before I go, I do want to go ahead and say, don't forget tomorrow's draft. We will be at Pier 5 down in Bayside. So if you guys are around the area, let us know. Maybe, I'm pretty sure they'll let you in as well. Miami Dolphin fans and the staff and everybody kind of let people in. Or just send me a DM and I could probably get you in because I'm going to be out there as well. So shout out to everybody. Thank you once again for another episode of Let Me Talk to You, episode 22 in the books. And let's go Miami Heat. And Nick, what's the score? Tell me the score before I go. What's the score? Are we winning? He can't hear me. See you later, guys.
Let me
Peace.
talk to you.
107.96.
The biggest icon in wrestling.
1 minute and 57 seconds left.
Yeah.